for a wonderful talk for the last couple of days. My question is regarding bhakti in terms of, in my understanding, what in Dvaita and Vishishta Advaita Vedanta, it seems like bhakti is a necessary aspect in the spiritual journey or spiritual progress. But in Advaita Vedanta, bhakti is a very important one, but may not be necessary to at least start the journey in the spiritual path. So in that case, in that context, how can we understand Sri Ramakrishna's claim or saying that bhava and vakulata, that's like the intense desire and the spiritual attitude for God, are very necessary in the path. So how do you explain that? Thank you.
I go back to the statement you made just before the question. At the beginning, I understand that in the beginning of Advaita Vedanta, bhakti may not be necessary. I don't know what you meant by that, but it's exactly the opposite. The beginning of Advaita Vedanta, bhakti is necessary. And at the end also, there is bhakti not as a practice, but as a result, as a manifestation. Yesterday, Revered Swami Tattva was quoting from Shankara Bhashya, the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, where Shankaracharya says that Vivikta Desha Sevitva Marati Janasansari. In that bhakti is mentioned, and Shankaracharya says the highest bhakti and highest jnana are one and the same. A very interesting insight. So the result of jnana will be manifested as bhakti. But at the beginning of the path of jnana, bhakti is necessary. So there's something that I did not mention here. What is in all of this which we did, there doesn't seem to be any space for meditation, any space for devotion, any space for action. What about all of the stuff that we discuss in religion generally? Alright, so this Q&A I will use for bringing us, grounding us. So, bhakti. What is the use of bhakti on this path? This is exactly what we talked about. In this path, what is the use of bhakti? Notice, we may come to an understanding of this truth, what we just spoke about. Hopefully we have got some understanding of it. Generally it is too much to expect understanding of this, but in this audience, where so many of us, we have already been in Vedanta for many years, we know more or less, we are familiar with all this, so an understanding is not very difficult. Swami Vivekananda says that this is the direct path. He says there that this path consists chiefly in the control of the senses. It's a counterintuitive statement. When you say the path of Advaita, path of Jnana, what does it consist in? If you would ask us, we would say, oh, it consists in reading lots of books, listening to YouTube lectures, or more seriously, it consists in Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, in study, in reflection, in meditation. But Vivekananda says this path consists chiefly in the control of the senses. After Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, whatever you do, a clarity will come. That's the first result which will come. But then, to live that life, that clarity will have to be manifested in life. Swami Vivekananda says, my mission in life can be put in a few words. It is to teach unto humanity their inner divinity, and how to make it manifest in every movement of life. That how to make it manifest in every movement of life, that is crucial. Without that, it's not full-blown realization or enlightenment. And there we run into problems. There it means what I have understood. If I claim I have understood all this, I am awareness, then I should live accordingly. When I try to live accordingly, you will find a huge pushback from the world, from the body, and from the mind. That pushback has to be overcome. That struggle, their control of the senses. Very interesting, Vivekananda says this path of jnana is chiefly the control of the senses. And Sri Krishna, in the Sthita Prakya Lakshana in Bhagavad Gita, again and again he comes back to control of the senses. Now here is where Advaita will take help from the other acharyas. Call in a consultant, it's not working. So a specialist, Ramanuja is called in. Ramanuja says, the path of knowledge, in Bhagavad Gita commentary, Ramanuja says, path of knowledge will not work without control of the senses. And control of the senses is not possible without enlightenment. Until you are enlightened, you realize you cannot fully master or transcend the senses. And until you transcend the senses, you cannot become enlightened. And so this is a vicious circle. How do you get out of this vicious circle? Then Ramanuja says, bhakti is the answer. What happens is when you introduce bhakti, you put something which is in front of the senses, which is acceptable to the mind, to the senses. What we want, spirituality is presented in that way. Something that is lovable, desirable, enjoyable, wonderful, fulfilling. Not pure consciousness, which is very difficult to understand what they are talking about. So something tangible before the senses, tangible before the mind. Then bhakti comes in. And remember, this is bhakti in the path of Advaita. This is not pure bhakti what Ramanuja or Madhva are talking about. In the path of Advaita, at the beginning of Advaita, bhakti is very useful. One problem in the path of Advaita is the unresolved emotional conflicts in the mind, the desires, the vasanas in the mind. What my intellect understands one thing, my desires and tendencies, vasanas pull me in another direction. Then it becomes a contradiction between my spiritual knowledge and my lived life. And that makes me think Advaita is not working. It will work because we are not satisfying the footnotes, the limiting conditions are there. Conditions apply. What conditions? The conditions of the fourfold qualifications. Revered Maharaj has the manuals on yoga, practical yoga. One of Revered Tyaganandaji Maharaj. One of the books is 4 basic practices. That is the foundation. 4 basic practices for what? What is what Ashtavakra is saying. And if we have not got excellence in that, no need to despair. Bhakti will help us. One sadhu said in Uttarakhand, Rota hua gyani kisi ko pasand nahi hai. The gyani, enlightened one who is continuously whimpering and complaining, grumbling. This is not good, people are behaving badly with me and my health is not good and no respect from people. This is not inspiring. And at the same time, I am conscious. And good excuse is there. I am consciousness. Ashtavakra told me that. And this grumbling, then why are you grumbling? Why are you complaining? Oh, grumbling and complaining, that is at the level of the mind. I am the witness of the grumbling. That is not, kisi ko pasand nahi hai. This is rota hua gyani. Complaining gyani is not acceptable to, it's not very inspiring side. Swami Ranganathan used to tell us, do not grumble. If you are spiritual, you have lost the right to grumble and complain. So bhakti is very useful there, at the beginning of spiritual life, in the beginning of every path. Opposite may not be true. On the path of pure bhakti, this Vedantic inquiry usually it is not recommended. Don't go into that. But on the path of Vedantic inquiry, bhakti is strongly recommended. I remember one sadhu, he was arguing with a pandit that the pandit was saying, Sakar Sach hai, with God, with form is the truth. Your formless, pure consciousness. And the monk was arguing that non-dual consciousness is the truth. Finally, the pandit accepted. And he said, Aap theek kehte, you are telling the truth. Nirakar hi sach hai. The formless is the truth. Pure consciousness is the truth. And the sadhu immediately replied, or Sakar tera chacha hai. And then what does that mean? The God with form, is that your, it's not translatable into English. Is that your uncle? It's a bit like Bob's your uncle. What it means is, again you are making a mistake. The formless reality is also that reality with form. And for one, knowledge and inquiry, and for God with form, devotion and love. Okay.
Pranam Maharaj. My question is the role of Guru different in Advaita Vedanta compared to the Bhakti-oriented traditions?
Somewhat different. Advaita Vedanta is a system of knowledge, and therefore the role of Guru becomes even more paramount. Often, to the Advaita, if you see the tradition among the monks, the Shankarite monks in the Himalayas and other places, the Guru almost seems to take the place of God. I remember Revered Swami Bhuteshanji saying, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Reva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. He said it's not that Guru is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. It It is God, Satchidananda Brahman, is appearing as your Guru, the human Guru. But it is true, in the path of Advaita Vedanta, Guru takes exceptional importance because it's a system of knowledge. Knowledge is transmitted from the teachers to the student. So it comes from the teacher. And the more devotion and respect and reverence we have for the Guru, it translates into devotion, respect and reverence for the knowledge. And if we have reverence for the knowledge, that knowledge takes root very quickly. They use the term in Hindi, "Theek theek baithta hai Mahatma ji." It settles down, right? It's digested. If we do not have, it's one more book, it's one more YouTube talk, fine, then I'll have some information. But if I have tremendous regard, devotion and reverence for the Guru has said it, it is true. Childlike devotion there for the parents, for example, my father said it, my mother said it, it is true, it's a fact. We lose that Shraddha when we grow up. But it's a great power. We waste it in the world, we believe in advertisements. We believe in advertisements, not in the Guru. But that same power, if we, of Shraddha, if we have faith in the Guru said it, and then it quickly becomes effective. It awakens in the mind. It awakens in our lives. Same Ashtavakra, who's talking about highest Vedanta, at one point he says, suppose all of this you set aside. I don't understand all this. This is not working for me. Then he says, there is a way. The way is, he says, Shraddhasva tata Shraddhasva matra moham kurushva ho. He says, then just have Shraddha. I am telling you. Ashtavakra says, I am telling you, my child, believe in this. Do not be deluded in this point. Then also it will work. Sri Ramakrishna says in one place, actually criticizing this approach, he says to a householder devotee that Ami Brahmo eta Virostar Pokke Bala Bhalo Noy. Shobi Kora Hocche, but Kintu Ami Nishkriyo Brahmo eta Bala Ek Jamon Katha. So he says it's not very good if you are very much involved in samsara to say I am Brahman. But then he adds, but he adds, Ami Mukto e Ohiman Khub Bhalo. He says, I am free. This is what Ashtavakra is also saying. Just believe I am free, that also. Ashtavakra says in another place, the one who says I am free will be free. The one who says I am bound will be bound. This is this old saying. This is true. That the one who affirms my own freedom, I am free, will get freedom. The one who affirms bondage. Sri Ramakrishna says, Sheshala Podeja, Te Bale Ami Papi, Sheshala Podeja. The rascal who keeps repeating, I am a sinner, becomes that, it falls. And he says, the one who says, I am free, that person will get freedom. The power of faith. And if it's connected to the teachings of the Guru, very quick results will come.
Hari Om Swami.
Yes.
So, I've been watching you for many years and I have so many questions. And like you are on my phone, you're on my Spotify playlist, I'm sure every single one here.
But now I'm in front of you.
And now, yes. And now I have so many questions. I have to put that in like maybe one question for fairness of all these people here.
And I've been watching you too, not for very long time, but since yesterday. And I've been watching your questions also. So I'm giving you a challenge. Can you precisely formulate that question?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So my question is so I'm Gujarati and in Gujarati my parents are always say Ram kare karo and Krishna ke karo. That means do what Ram says and do what Ram is doing, but Krishna would do what Krishna is saying. And now going back to the Ramakrishna. How do we put it? Because like Ashtavakra, like one of the Ashtavakra phrase which near and dear to me is Nisango Nishkriyo Sitam Prakasha Niranjana Ayameva Hite Bandha Samadhi. So all this like approach to liberation, enlightenment, Ramakrishna was.
I think I get the point.
Yeah.
Don't worry, there's some improvement in the question, little bit. Alright. As far as Sri Ramakrishna is concerned, read Sri Ramakrishna, meditate on Sri Ramakrishna, repeat the name of Sri Ramakrishna in every way, 360-degree approach. Catch hold of Sri Ramakrishna with emotions, with the hands to serve, and with the intellect to study and understand the teachings, and then try to live those teachings. This is the way to absorb Sri Ramakrishna. And teachings like that you desire samadhi, that is your only bondage. Ashtavakra says that. And you say, I see Sri Ramakrishna going into samadhi all the time. See, that teaching of Ashtavakra, these things must be handled with great care. You know whom Ashtavakra is saying that to? He's saying that to the person who has already got the capacity of plunging the mind into samadhi and wants to stay there. To that person he says, with eyes closed in samadhi, what you are seeing, with eyes open also you see the same thing. It's the same thing. You don't have to remain in samadhi. Whom is he saying it to? The same state which Sri Ramakrishna says to Narendranath, that you want to remain in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. I thought you were bigger than that. To that person. So one must be careful. He's not saying it to me. I can't sit in meditation for 5 minutes, let alone samadhi. And you desire samadhi, that is your bondage. No, that is your freedom that you desire samadhi. We desire samadhi, we desire deep bhakti, we desire self-knowledge, and we desire selflessness. And that is why Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, they are keys to our freedom. If you throw away the key, we still remain trapped.
You refer to deep sleep. In Sushupti, Jivatma meets the Paramatma, gets merged with the Paramatma, and then comes back. I can understand the reason given is that body is there, prana is there, so there is no alternative. He has to come back to the same body and mind. However, but the same thing is applied to death, and then you say that Jivatma gets dissolved in Paramatma, and then he has to come back. He comes back in a new body and mind. However, he carries the karma